I am very excited to talk with our next guest. For one thing, we've all just finished graduation season, so perhaps you have people in your life who've just finished high school, graduated college, they're launching out right into a new part of their life. Perhaps you're looking for a great motivational book to take with you to the beach or poolside for that good summer read. You find it in our next guest, both things. Rebecca Mountain, who has written a book called The Dragon and the Goat. Good to see you this morning.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm going to try to be really careful in how I summarize this because I want you to be the focus. But this sounds to me, Rebecca, like a fantastic book for anybody who is kind of lost a little bit and they're trying to find a way to make their life be what they want it to be, but they've got these kind of competing voices in their head.
100%. That is a wonderful summary of the book, actually. And the two forces being the dragon, which is the lizard part of our brain. And it's like all the things that kind of we do to pull back, throttle back, don't make a mistake because you don't want to look weird or bad in front of your peers or your colleagues or your boss. It's fight, flight, freeze. It's where we compare ourselves to others. It's emotionally charged memories. And when those become the focus of our lives and we put all our energy towards those and making up, crazy what if situations of what could potentially happen in the future, and we are terrible predictors of the future. So we just kind of hold ourselves back and we play a small game. So what the book is about is how do you shrink that part of you? You can't slay it because there's ways of turning that part of our brain into our ally instead of our enemy. But then, like you said, how do we live our goat life, the greatest of all time life? And each of us individually has our own goat, but we don't often focus a lot of our time and energy on what is that and what does make us happy and wealthy and fulfilled. But that's what the book is designed to do. So it's both storytelling, which is awesome. I love to tell stories. I just find that it's so engaging and people find themselves in the stories. But then there's strategies. So there's like a dozen odd strategies for shrinking that part of you that is scared and anxious and growing the goat part of your life.
So the older I get, the more I'm aware and just goosebumpy aware of the fact that if you take the experiences of your life and honor it in a way, things have a way of working out for good. So I won't make you go into too much detail if you don't want to, but you told me you grew up in a cult. So that your formative years, I'm sure, were pretty narrowly defined for you. And the fact that you found a way as an adult to break from that and pursue your own path, that's pretty empowering.
It really was. And it was one of the scariest things I've ever done. So when you grow up in a cult, it's like you said, the rules are very, very tight. But as I got older, they actually got tighter and tighter and tighter. So I wasn't supposed to go to work. I was supposed to stay home and raise my children, but we couldn't afford it. So when I went back to work, I was told that all these horrible things in this life and the afterlife that would happen to me because I wasn't following the rules. And it is terrifying. And that's the word that sort of really sums up how I lived my life. Like I would turn on my car and I'm like, and now I'm going to die. And after I left the cult back in 2008, it took me over 3 years to finally rid myself of that fear because they were like, today's the day, now it's got your ticket, right? So what I have done since 2008 in a kind of bumbling way, and I'm really hoping to help people not be quite so bumbling along, is figure out what was that programming and that conditioning. And how do I reprogram my brain, reprogram my nervous system, which was very, very anxious, so that I could enjoy life and not have those fears that kind of crop up, not hold myself back. And what I'm doing now in the job that I'm doing, the business that I've created, I work exactly how I want, when I want, where I want, with whom I want, and unapologetically so. And that's where I really want people to move to from any kind of oppressive situation. So I grew up in religious oppression, but there's lots of other different types of oppression out there. And I want people to have hope and strategies. So it's not just motivation. It's like, but like, here's like literally a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 on how you can start moving yourself toward really a life with intention and true beauty.
And I had mentioned at the beginning of our conversation the graduation season. So if you're leaving high school, that's its own set of daily trauma for some people, right? And you're programmed to think a certain way, and how do you now empower yourself to think for your way? Sounds like it's a book for everybody.
It really is. And a lot of my adult clients give it to their young adult children. So late teens, early 20s, they have to make so many decisions at such a young age. My children are from the ages of 17 to 25. And part of what they went through and what they struggled with inspired certain parts of this book. And some of these young adults have really found it helpful and calming, because they're like, okay, I don't have to have all of the answers right now. You know, I talked to a cashier the other day. She's 18 and she's like, you know, I'm really anxious. And I'm like, dude, I'm 47 and I figured out what I really wanted to do with my life 4 years ago. So ease up.
Plenty of time. Well, you and I talked for, 30 seconds before we got on the air, but we had this connection. So thank you for taking your experience to help other people.
Oh, and I appreciate you having me here, so that, you know, maybe there's someone out there that just feels caught or not too sure what to do, not too sure where the next step is. And this could be something that could give them some ideas and some encouragement and confidence to be able to say, you know what, I am worth taking that step forward. And I will say one thing, the root cause, like the book was inspired, and then I'll just let you wrap this up. I'm so excited about this. I started this book because I wanted to understand why people knew that there was something they should be doing but didn't. And that all comes down to a lack of self-worth. And if this book can help one person in the entire universe to feel that they are worth something, that they are validated because they validate themselves, not because someone else told them they're a great person, then their lives will already be so much richer.
Excellent. I'm going to leave you the last word. Thank you.